The light feminine is radiant strength expressed as softness, and this archetype lives in all of us regardless of our gender. It's the maiden, the mother, muse, squire, and cheerleader, a presence of compassion, joyful support, and surrender. Archetypes are patterns of the psyche, shared symbols that echo through cultures. They carry maps of our behavior, and they help our understanding of our inner and our outer worlds. Light is giving, uplifting, and transcendent, in contrast to dark, which is receiving, primal, and embodied. Light as an archetype relates to consciousness, to service, and to support. It radiates compassion, insight, and communication, and connection to higher ideals. The light holds a transcendent and angelic frequency. And the light has shadows too. When underactive, the light, it lacks faith, both in the self and in others. And when overactive, it becomes perfectionism, rigid rules, over-providing, and judgment of others, which can spiral into guilt and into shame. Shadow work occurs when we're noticing and shifting the distortion of our gifts. Now, what do we mean by feminine? Feminine energy is receptive, intuitive, communicative, and deeply connected to flow. This exists in all of us, and we carry a sliding scale for masculine and feminine within. Our expression changes moment by moment. An underactive feminine is disconnected from their community, their intuition and magnetism. Safety is lacking internally and externally for them, whilst an overactive feminine is chaotic, messy, destructive, and creates upheaval in their relationships. When integrated, the light feminine is compassionate and supportive, sharing from a full cup and as such free from self-abandonment. They are surrendering with grace while holding healthy boundaries at the same time, able to be a cheerleader of others' dreams who also honors their own at the same time. And they coach well, they get groundwork done and take risks for higher purposes. The light feminine channels compassion and joy, healing by radiating and providing a supportive presence. An example of one of my light feminine expressions is my surrender to supporting our global community. And I do this through creating content and expanding our joint conversation on emotional evolution. Another is any time that I cook wholesome food and share it with others. And so far I've described a soulful expression of the light feminine, and every archetype has a shadow. Before entering self-knowing and their community building energies fully, the light feminine seeks the edges of their capabilities. And as a result of this, their heart may have surrendered past their capacity, tolerating more than they could hold. When boundaries are pushed, instead of them voicing their needs, a characteristic light feminine shadow response is freeze. And this generally results in a lack of self-trust and a lack of trust in others. Such experiences also build discernment, and in the process, learning discernment, our light feminine expression can shift between overly rigid boundaries and a lack thereof. Further, what looks like devotion can subtly hide depletion and anxious attachment. Fawning is a characteristically light feminine shadow response, and it's often subconscious as a tactic to avoid abandonment and attempt to prove self-worth. Have you heard of shadow work? We have videos explaining how to work with these distorted energies, and we also have a transformational program to help you move through shadow for each of the 4 archetypes that we work with. Inside of these, there are rituals and expansive processes to alchemically shift you and your life into a more soulful expression. Integration is balancing our compassion with self-care. It's learning to receive as well as to give. It's embodying the truth that for love to last, it must be grounded in our self-care and our self-truth. If you'd like to embody this archetype in daily life, we've crafted a natural perfume called Light Feminine. Watch the video that I made that breaks down the scent, that also touches on how to use it in ritual. And if you want to learn more about the archetype, check out our extensive and growing library of short animated reels that are organized into playlists. There are examples of deities, public figures, musicians, and characters from movies and TV shows for each archetype. Each short video has a short ritual for you to go deeper into your connection with this archetype, and there's deeper information and ritual exploration in those descriptions. Some even have invocations and evocations.